All right, everybody. Good afternoon. We have not done one of these in a while. I think it's time. We got to do another mock draft. And now that the college football season is over, outside of bowl games and the playoff, I'm thinking about maybe doing a new mock draft every week just to throw more stuff out there now that we have more information. It feels like we should be able to do that. It feels like we now know enough to put together some pretty appealing, pretty juicy, pretty substantial mock drafts. At this point, obviously, we still have the combine, we still have pro days, but in terms of watching these guys play football, we've seen most, if not all, of what we're going to see. Obviously, a lot of these players have one game left if they choose to play it, and some of these players will have the playoff, but we have a lot of information to work with now. So I might be doing a new mock draft every week going forward. We'll see. Just to try to put the knowledge that I built up over the last couple months into practice. So this is going to be 3.0. We've done 2 mock drafts already this season. So my third one, and because we're early, and because we're going to do a lot of these, I like to try to mix it up with every mock draft. I like to come at it from a different angle and not just do the same thing that I like the most over and over again. So this one's going to be a decent amount different from previous ones. I'll say that. There is going to be a little bit of suboptimal stuff here that I still really like. Like, if you were to ask me what my ideal perfect mock draft would be, I'd have an answer, but I don't want to talk about that exact same answer every week. So, number one, I'm assuming that the Seahawks are going to pick somewhere around the middle late area of the draft because that's where they are right now. Number two, I'm getting rough draft ranking and positioning from the database. So if anything there is wrong, then I'm probably going to be misevaluating a player's draft ranking. And it's kind of stupid to get into fights about that right now anyway, because we still have so long to go. These players are going to be moving up, down, left, and right, back and forth, over and over, based off of any information that we get. So nothing is finalized anyway, especially when you get past like the first few picks. Okay, so far in these mock drafts, I've taken an offensive lineman in the first round and I've taken an edge rusher. So this time we're going to throw a curveball in there, do something different. We're taking Tyler Warren. So Tyler Warren, tight end from Penn State, ton of fun. Really become one of my favorite players in this draft. The Penn State uses him all over the field. They put him everywhere. Drew Allar has really learned to love getting him the ball. He can catch as a tight end. He can block. They use him as like an up back, a full back. They get him the ball on the ground. They even let him throw a pass this year. And I know everyone really loves A.J. Barner, justifiably so. A.J. Barner is a very exciting young player on this team, but that is probably all you have going into 2025 on the Seahawks right now. You have A.J. Barner, and maybe you have like Brady Russell, if you want to keep Brady Russell, I guess. Noah Fant, I don't think we can keep him. He's gone. And Pharaoh Brown, his contract's expiring. I don't think people want him back anyway. So we need another tight end, and it should be a good one. It shouldn't just be a throwaway one that we just say, oh, he'll take up a roster spot. We got to do better than that. Tyler Warren, dynamic playmaker, can play all different kinds of roles at the tight end position. Great hands, downfield threat, possession guy. Again, you can use him on the ground a little bit. I don't know if he'll do that much in the NFL, but he does it at Penn State, and it's fun. I like it, and I think we need a player like him. All right, so that's round one. Round two, I am going with Donovan Jackson, the left guard out of Ohio State, currently projected to be like a mid to late second round pick on the things that I've looked at lately. Good player, great replacement for Laken Tomlinson. I know Tomlinson's been playing a little bit better lately, and I know that some people are calling off the dogs on him, but he's too old. That, to me, is the one clear-cut position of desperate need right now. Right guard, maybe Lomia will cover it, maybe Bradford will cover it. One way or the other, I think we're going to be okay at right guard. Center, I'm hoping that Christian Haynes can pull off a move to center at this point. I think that's the best bet that we can make as Seahawks fans. And I think we got to let the Abraham Lucas thing ride unless he gets hurt again. So I'm going to back off the right tackle thing for a second, but I'm not backing off the left guard thing. Unless you're planning on moving Christian Haynes to left guard, which might work, but I think center is more likely. So Donovan Jackson would immediately step in, start day one. He's a multi-year starter for a great program, great offensive line, and he's been on my radar for more than just this 1 year. So maybe not the perfect scheme fit, but I don't really know how much I'm supposed to even worry about that. Like, this most recent week, we saw the Seahawks adapt a gap-based blocking scheme, and it worked really well. So there you go. Not going to waste time tripping on that. Round three, we're going to go wide receiver here. We got to replace Tyler Lockett. I don't think there's any doubt that Lockett will not be here next year. He will be retired or on another team. And we don't have anybody on this team that can replace him. Jake Bobo can't do it. I mean, Cody White's fun, but I don't want to bet on that. Like, if Cody White does have that ability to be that number 3 receiver, like a legitimate starting receiver in the NFL, great, but I'm not betting on it based on this tiny sample size. Derek Young, haven't seen enough from him yet at all. So we got to go outside the team to find a receiver. And I like Tez Johnson from Oregon. He'll remind you a little bit of Lockett when you look at him because he's so small. But he doesn't really play like Lockett. He's much more of a yak guy. Definitely somebody who's trying to make guys miss and make plays after the catch. He played great in that Big 12, or I'm sorry, is it Big 10 or Big 12? Whatever. He played great in the championship game against Penn State. Had a good season. I really like Tez. And I look at him and I see a player that the Seahawks could use to supplement DK and JSN next year, knowing that we don't really have anything behind those guys that's going to replace even this year's Lockett. Like, as much as Lockett isn't playing well this year, he's still going to have decent numbers. I don't think anybody else on this team could match those numbers in that role. Now, we don't have a 4th round pick because of Ernest Jones, and we don't have a 5th round pick because of Leonard Williams. So we don't have picks in those rounds, so I got rid of those. Scratch them off. We're going down to round 6 here. Jamari Caldwell, nose tackle out of Oregon. We're getting another Oregon player. He flashed big time in the Washington game. I really liked what I saw. Stout run defender, a bigger guy. We're going to have a nose tackle need for sure. I think we are good at end. I like what we're doing in terms of like the 3 techs or the 4 eyes or whatever, but we need that nose tackle. I think Jamari Caldwell is going to be about as good as you can do when you get down into that day 3 area. Honestly, he might go before this, especially if he flashes in the playoff and Oregon wins the national title. But for now, I think this is a reasonable expectation. My other round 6 pick, remember, we have 2 because of the Darrell Taylor trade. Tyler Batty, an edge rusher from BYU. So we're going to use the pick. Well, actually, I guess Caldwell would be the Bears pick, and this would be our native pick, whatever. But Tyler Batty, edge out of BYU, because Draymond's gone this offseason almost certainly because of money. Oh, shoot, I just gave away the game. Oh, well, whatever. Yeah, Shiloh Sanders is my 7th round pick. But let me finish with Batty here before I move on to that. Stupid Google Docs. Thank you so much for that. We need a 4th edge. It's going to be Nwosu Mafe Hall, probably. We need a 4th guy. And Batty, I think, is good enough to do it. He's had some really nice games this year. Fun player, good player. Nothing over the top exciting. I would definitely prefer to go get somebody like a Jadeveon Clowney to be our 4th edge if you can do that. But that may not be realistic. We don't have a lot of money. And I don't know if we want to go get older players right now. So yeah, that would be round 6, and my final pick would be Shiloh Sanders. Gotta get those national headlines somehow. Safety out of Colorado, should be available somewhere around the 7th round. Had some pretty good games this year. He did get hurt and miss a lot of time. If he didn't get hurt, he might actually be a little bit of a more coveted pick. But yeah, let's get some attention coming our way. How about that? Let's get Shiloh over here. and he can back up Kobe and Julian Love. We are probably going to be turning over the backup safety spot this offseason. I don't think Rayshon's back because of money, and Kayvon Wallace, his contract expires, so he's probably just gone anyway. So we're gonna have to get some backup safeties in here, and let's get Shiloh going, and then maybe the other guy can be Jarek Reed, and then you've got like your safety room is pretty set at that point. All right, so that's my mock draft version 3.0. Let me know what you guys think. Trying to come at things from different angles, look at things from a different perspective, try to find different things that I think will work. What do you think? All right. See you guys later. Go Hawks. More videos coming later. But draft content should be picking up now because the college football season's over and we know 90% of what we're going to know.